Hello everyone. With all the changes we've had in the beginning of the semester and recently with the rain and class being canceled again, I thought that I'll try and give you a review online, so something that you can record, rewind. First, I'd like to get started off on Bloom's taxonomy. I will apply this in the front of every blueprint. So I wanted to make sure that we all are paying attention to here. I have included information on Bloom's taxonomy. This is how NCLEX questions are developed. As you grow in nursing, you will gain knowledge in answering questions related to analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. You have a lot of questions on your application level and analysis level. Below is the information for information purpose only, and will be at the beginning of each exam blueprint for fundamentals. And as you see down here, I have in bold, these were mostly all my questions. I'm testing you at the application level and the analysis level. As you read with the application level, you can read here in the bold, and you can also read at the analysis level. On Bloom's taxonomy, if you type in Bloom's taxonomy on a search engine, you will find different words that fall under application and different words that fall under analysis. I will become familiar with those words, and so you know if this is an analysis question or if it's a application question. I will give you. Here are some action words for Bloom's taxonomy, so you can kind of get an idea of when I tell you that this is application and this is analysis. These are words that you will see in your questions. So I'm going to scroll up. I was hoping to scroll up, but it seemed like I'm having a little difficulty scrolling up instead of down. But let me just move this over so you can see all of the words. So you'll have something to look at. Okay, I'm sorry. And here we go. So I'm just going to scroll down and pause it so you guys can always rewind and pause. But these are action words that you will see. Okay. As you see, your questions will consist of multiple choice questions or select all that apply. There's a little bit more than 10 on select all that apply. Your reference pages is for you to reference for study, as you can go back to the book to see what I'm speaking of. And I'll give you an example later. And your cognitive is to Bloom's taxonomy. That's if what level I'm doing applying and analyzing. And then your learning outcome. This is to help you gear you towards the page what I'm speaking of. And I'm going to. So let's look at the blueprint and let's look at the first one. I'm testing everyone on an application level. The reference page is 244. The learning outcome that I want you to be able to get out of this is to explain the relationship of individuality and holism to nursing practice. Now, refer back to this page. Now, when I'm talking about holism, I want you guys to look into that area on page 244 and look at this is what I'm trying to get you to understand. The concept of holism emphasizes that nurses must keep the whole person in mind and strives to understand how one area of concern relates to the whole person. Okay? So I want you to look at that. Read that again. The concept of holism emphasizes that nurses must keep the whole person in mind and strive to understand how one area of concern relates to the whole person. Let me give you one more example. I had a patient who came into the emergency room and his blood pressure was out of control. And we just thought he was non-adherent. Now we're talking about holism. Now once we decided to talk to him and get to know a little bit more about him, well, he had a mortgage, he had a car note, and he had all these other things in addition to losing his job. So he picked up little things here and there. So holism, well, if he lost his job, Okay, holism. Remember, I'm going to go back and explain holism. The concept of holism emphasizes that the nurse must keep the whole person in mind and strive to understand how one area of concern relates to the whole person. So our area of concern is his blood pressure. So if he doesn't keep his job, he doesn't have the money to buy the medication to help keep his blood pressure under control. Holism. That's an example that I like to give to you guys, and that's applying, that's application. So to continue, I just want to let you guys know there won't be any PowerPoint presentations in here. This is a time for you to take notes as if I was lecturing in front of you in class and going from your book. So I'm going to talk a lot because I need to do probably 2 sections or possibly 3, part 1, 2, and 3, so I don't lose your attention. Okay, so I'm going to get started on a review for exam 2. And this page just going to stay up because I don't have a picture unless you want me to show you a picture of me. One of your learning outcomes, it states list the 4 main characteristics of homeostatic mechanisms. I would like for you to focus on psychological. I want you to understand that individuals also need a stable psychological environment from infancy onward so that feelings of love and trust develop, a social environment that includes adults who are healthy role models and a life experience that provides satisfaction. Let's go on. Let's talk a little bit about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I want to make sure you guys look up and see what the physiological needs include, which are air, food, water, rest, and sleep. I want you to make sure you look at safety and security needs, and those are things both psychological and physiological that help the person feel safe. Then I also want you to look at love and belonging needs, including giving and receiving affection, attaining a place in a group, and maintaining the feeling of belonging. And then don't forget about self-esteem and esteem from others, and that includes feelings of independence, competence, self-respect, recognition, respect, and appreciation. Self-hatred and disgust is opposite. I want to make sure you understood that I was trying to say self-hatred and disgust is opposite of what one would expect in self-esteem level. I was speaking on the learning outcome, identify Maslow's characteristics of self. For those who didn't understand the needs theory, I want to make sure that you, and I'm speaking about Maslow, I wanted to make sure that you understand in the needs theory, human needs are ranked on an ascending scale according to how essential the needs are for survival. So, physiologic needs are, I said earlier, those such as air, food, water, shelter, rest, sleep, activity, and temperature maintenance. They all are crucial. Now, when I also speak of self-actualization, identify Maslow's characteristics of self-actualization, one actualized person, I wanted to make sure that I touch just a tad, nothing else. I'm just giving one question on Kalish's adaptation of Maslow hierarchy of needs. Now, I want you guys to know, and this is good information to know, Richard Kalish added a 6th level to Maslow's 5 levels and referred it to as stimulation needs. Okay, so this level includes sexual activity, exploration, manipulation, and novelty. That's all you need to know about that. And moving on, I want you all to realize about the Healthy People 2010. As we continue to talk about Healthy People 2010, I want you guys to know that the foundation of this document is the belief that individual health is closely linked to the community health and the reverse. Okay, so in order to bring this document about, partnerships are important, remember, to improve health of individuals and communities. But this applies to the entire population, not just focus on the older population. It applies to everyone. Okay, so I want to make sure that we just don't say, oh, this is just for the older adult. It is not. So, they did have 4 main goals. So the first goal for Healthy People 2010, the first goal is to increase quality in years of healthy life. You guys read that, which applies to the client. Okay. Also, a second goal for Healthy People 2010 is to eliminate health disparities, which reflects the diversity of the entire population. Remember, we are not focusing on just one particular population. The last lecture, we talked about health promotion, health protection, tertiary, and primary. So I want to make sure that you guys understand health protection or illness prevention. Maybe if you look at it like that, that might help you understand that portion a little better. I felt like I need to explain a little bit more. It's a behavior motivated by a desire to actively avoid illness, detect it early, or maintain functioning within a constraint. I'm just going to touch a little bit on tertiary. Just know that prevention focuses on restoration and rehabilitation. I'm saying them all different, so I do apologize, but primary prevention also focuses on health promotion, but it is not a behavior, okay? It is not a behavior. And then also health promotion now is a behavior motivated by the desire to increase well-being and actualize human health potential. So for another learning outcome, discuss the health promotion model. I want you guys to know the difference, okay? I want you to know competing preferences, competing demands, situational influences, and interpersonal influences. Try to know those differences. I can give you a quick blurb. I'll read it really fast to you. So competing preferences are behaviors over which an individual has a high level of control and depend on the individual's ability to be self-regulating, okay? Also, competing demands are behaviors over which an individual has a low level of control. We kind of spoke a little bit about that in class. Situational influences are direct and indirect influences on health promoting behaviors and includes perceptions of available options. Okay, interpersonal influences are a person's perceptions concerning the behaviors, belief, or attitudes of others. You guys can read also on those. Another learning objective is to explain the stages of health behavior change. I would like for you guys to understand and know the termination stage, the preparation stage, also contemplation stage, and also want you to know the action stage. So if you understand those, you'll be comfortable with understanding how to apply that knowledge. I just want to reinforce that you know the difference between illness prevention and health. There's another learning outcome where I want you to describe the function and purpose of healthcare agencies. It is outlined in the chapter, but I want you guys to know the difference. Now, know palliative care is a service that provides comfort and treatment of symptoms. Okay, acute care is a typical service provided in a hospital. Know that health restoration is service that helps bring ill or injured clients back to their former state of health. Rehabilitation is a process of restoring ill or injured people to an optimum and functional level of wellness, emphasizing the importance of assisting the client to function adequately in the physical, mental, social, economic, and vocational area. As we come to an end of part 1, I want to make sure that read on and know that what the state health organization is responsible for, the local health department has the responsibility, and what the local health department has the responsibility for, local hospitals, and also United States Department. Thank you. This is the end of part 1 for reviewing exam 2. and I will have another part after this, and I will post each one. Thank you and have a good day.